So I've got some questions this evening. More people are killed each year by vending machines than by sharks. Has an animal ever made you fear for your life?
Yes.
I'm
I'm going to say humans
start.
as animals. I've definitely been scared, human related, but non-human animal. And this is like the bitchiest possible answer. So one of my sisters came from Texas to hang out, and she wanted to go to the beach. So I take her to Strands, which is like where I surfed with my dad when I was a kid. Like, we know this beach, like blah, blah, blah. Actually, the plan was to take her to Aurora's Taqueria after the fact. Let's have a little... Dude, apparently it's gone, by the way. Now it's just a straight grocery store. Or someone else bought it? Someone was telling me about it. I can't remember. But anyway. So we're swimming, and I'm body surfing. And my sister's having a great time. She grew up in Texas, doesn't have a lot of beach time. And all of a sudden, like dolphins. Except, normally you see the dolphins like 50 yards off the sand. This time the dolphins were like in the wave with us. And my sister was like, oh my God, it's magical. Like she was having this like communion with nature. And for like a second, I was like, this is amazing. Oh my God, this is like, what a blessed moment. And then I watched that thing in its home turf glide effortlessly through its medium of choice, and I recognized my own inefficiency, my own just absolute pathetic attempt at locomotion in this water. And I realized if that thing wanted to kill me, it totally could. And I freaked the fuck out. Like I was terrified of these dolphins.
Look,
he doesn't want to kill you. He just wants to fuck you.
Yeah, I'm just saying, you almost got a porpoise up the butt.
Dude, sure, dolphin rape, I feel like that's a good story. Dolphin death, like that's just, you don't even get to go to Valhalla. And if a shark gets you, you go to Valhalla. A dolphin gets you, you definitely end up like crewing Naglfar, right? Like
Poseidon's really? Just like, dude,
what a bitch. Like so that is my animal terror story.
So we're just going to skip over the whole
thing. No, not at all. Not at all. Because I'm going, I didn't realize vending machines were an animal. Wait, why is this connected? Is this, it's like, no, this is just saying animals are fine. Relax. Don't even worry about it. But that's not really the case. And I'm not, I don't know. Are you telling me that I should be afraid of vending machines? Are there specific kinds of vending machines? Like, what do they vend? Which ones kill more?
Poison.
The poison vending machines kill more often than, say, the soda machines.
G7, arsenic.
Let's see. All right. 3 skulls.
Oh, wait, no. The Japanese, they had the used panty vending machines, don't they?
Yeah, that's a choking hazard.
I mean, so are Cheetos. You can't blame Cheetos.
And you know what? Probably, I don't know, they might have like a 2-for-1. They come into the same vending machine. Here's Cheetos wrapped in used underwear. So, yeah, but dolphins, sure.
Did it explain how vending machines kill people? Is it because they're...
no, that's not the question. You just get the little piece of information. You have the question.
God damn it, Darren! I'm gonna go where I want to with this question. I have the freedoms.
A poor presenter puts a bunch of boundaries up on his question.
You're not running any more campaigns, Darren.
No, I'm not putting boundaries. I'm saying feel free to explore on your own time. That's not the point of the question. I'm just presenting you with a simple fact and asking you a question.
Yeah, and I'm going with it. You know what?
So, okay, I'd buy that.
Well, hold on. I just made one quick comment, and then it's yours. I just want to say, I think that Darren feels a little threatened by my fluidity in this question.
Look, it's loaded, and it backfired a little bit, okay?
What are we talking about again?
Dolphins.
Is it like
load?
The machine won't take these quarters, so the guy sucks on them to try to clean them off and dies? How are people dying in vending machines?
All right, so I totally didn't research the part of the questions that don't make sense, but they're true.
How couldn't you?
Because I did this in like the 20 minutes before we started talking.
That's what I thought about research. I heard you, and I said, because that's what I did last week.
Like, more people died in the Sharks versus Jets gang war than sharks kill every year. He snapped himself to death.
Coca-Cola has been trying to skew the numbers for years.
Okay. So it's Big Coke vending machine numbers
versus shark attacks and dolphin rapes.
Coke vendors out there trying to get sharks to kill people to up their numbers so that it finally eclipses vending machines.
Just chumming the waters at Cocoa Beach every summer.
They're filling up the Coke vending machines, taking out the panties and tossing them out into the ocean. You know, claiming those as losses.
Putting sharks in the vending machines. Oh no, it wasn't the vending machine, it was the shark that did it.
What if the vending machines are all like used shark panties vending machines? How does that skew the numbers?
Depends on how many people like eating used shark panties.
Well, like shark scales have that sort of like sandpapery like cartilage to them. I feel like it would be really hard to get. It'd be easy to get the panties on, but getting them off would be very difficult. I feel like they would shred.
Well, logistics.
I think it's the other way around, unless you're going from the head. Because it's sandpapery up.
You're right.
Saying, if you die reaching your hand into a vending machine with shark panties, who gets the credit?
I say that's on the shark.
See? All right.
It's too sexy. It's the shark's fault.
Yeah. If the sharks were just less adorable.
They're just so sleek.
They're just so young and innocent, those sharks.
Oh, God damn it. Why does it keep getting worse? Like, every time I feel like we hit bottom, there's like a whole new layer.
It's the first fucking question, goddammit. Flat Earth. Aliens built the pyramids. Jet fuel can't melt steel beams. What conspiracy theory do you think has some merit?
Just of those three, or
no, just in general. In general, yeah. That's just throwing some out there.
You love your background.
That's this whole question base is that format.
Vending machine deaths? That sounds like a conspiracy theory that has a little truth to it.
The Coke vending machine shark conspiracy consortium.
Yeah, especially at Area 55, I know they have a spike in vending machine deaths there.
They've got sharks and vending machines.
No. The poor vending machines died.
Oh my god.
So,
any conspiracy theories that have some merit?
Well, I'm trying to think because like there are like established sort of like, oh yeah, that's just that's a fact now. We've established that that's a thing that happened. Like the MK Ultra, for example, right? Like that's like a totally effed up thing that totally did happen. That definitely feels like a conspiracy theory. So that's no longer as a conspiracy theory. We have like the facts. We have the documentation.
Right.
So I guess that's probably where I'm running into. Like, how do we define conspiracy theory?
I mean, I don't. You're once again, you're putting parameters on the question. It's not my job to do that.
How much tinfoil is required?
So, like, we'll say conspiracy theory. Like, I will define it loosely in terms of, like,
what about the Hollow Earth conspiracy?
Hollow Earth conspiracy.
Oh yeah, that's a big thing.
Well, I mean, as in the Earth does not have a molten core; it has a void.
Yeah, that there's a giant hollow space inside the Earth, and there's a whole nother intelligent race of people living inside the Earth.
Oh god!
Isn't that just Gears of War?
It's a real conspiracy. How about the Montauk Project? That one's a cool one. That's a really cool
Montauk, like Long Island Montauk?
Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah. They did experiments out there for years with. It was part of the whole
on the whalers.
It's like CIA mind control. No, they believed there was this one dude that painted these certain paintings, and they believed that if you put your hands on these paintings, and I think there was drugs involved, that you could warp to different dimensions or different time realities or on some weird shit. I don't know. I think there was dolphin sex involved in that one too, though. Honestly, I'm dead serious. I'd have to look up the Montauk Project, but I'm pretty sure all those things were involved.
This sounds like a conspiracy theory. I'm not sure it really holds any water.
All right, we'll go to the next question. Pigs are genetically very close to humans and arguably one of the most delicious meats. Would you dare taste human flesh?
I chew my fingers a lot.
I eat my fingernails, yeah.
Yeah, I know what it tastes like. It's actually pretty bland.
Pork?
Would it be flesh? It wouldn't be flesh, would it?
Finger
more
flesh?
muscle, right? Isn't it?
Well, like, I feel like it is one of those things where, like, people talk about, like, or I shouldn't say talk about, but like you'll read or watch these movies or these fictional events or based on real events where like some horrific thing occurs, people are forced to eat humans just to survive, right? Just to make it through the winter, the Donner Party, or there's like Chilean dudes who got stuck up in that plane crash. And it's interesting, like that is considered like this traumatic event. They've consumed the flesh of their fellow creatures. It's like, maybe this is like the Dexter psychopathy I have a little bit of, which I'm not proud of. But like, why is that traumatic? Like, it's death or eat your buddy, dude. He's already dead. Like, that sucks. But like, what's the move?
What if he wasn't dead? What if it's kill your buddy and eat him?
Oh, well, see, that is a totally different thing. Like, murder and then consume it. Like, that's a totally different math. Versus,
well, what about murder? What about death?
Even more.
Like,
go ahead.
Would it hurt you more to kill your friend and live, or would you prefer to die rather than do that?
Well, I think there's three. I think there's like eat your dead friend, kill and eat your dead friend, or eat your live friend. I think there's a third option here.
Okay.
And I think the trauma might go along with it unless you're able to apologize and get a response back saying it's cool, bro. Go ahead, because they're still alive.
Rochambeau.
Nib a little bit, nib a little bit. Yeah.
So wait, maybe I'm like, is a steak, is that the cow's flesh? I always thought it was muscle.
Yes. No, it's flesh.
No, it's muscle.
It's flesh. Flesh is the fleshy part. Everything but bone.
Flesh is your skin.
So an organ
maybe
is
not
flesh?
Fingernail. I don't think fingernails really count, but flesh
so is your heart flesh?
Yes, it's the soft stuff.
But
so anything gooey is flesh.
Sure. Chewable.
Chewables?
Yeah, I don't know. Look up flesh.
I'm just imagining like little cubed human bits.
I mean, if you're eating people.
No. Ah!
So I think the worst thing would be if you were in that situation and you had to eat people and you were like, "Oh my god, fucking man carnitas."
Manitas?
Well, I feel like if you are in a situation where you're eating, your compatriots, your seasoning options are probably pretty weak. Yeah. Right? Like, unless you're like in a plane crash.
Wild things going around there. Yeah. Maybe you've got
lost in this time farm. All this time in Rosemary, I can't see where I'm going. We're gonna have to eat each other.
God damn,
I've had some delicious salted pork in my day. Salt is not that hard to find,
I think if I was starving and there was a dead Justin over there, I'd probably succumb.
And I like my ghost would be like, dude, I really worked on my squats the last year or two I was alive. I would definitely start with the buttocks.
Yeah, that's what would suck is Justin wouldn't fatten me up.
Yeah, you want the fatty bits.
Yeah, Justin, I don't want to feel like I'm eating your squats.
Justin, which part of you most marbled?
I don't want a fillet. I want the fattiest bit. I need sustenance, not deliciousness.
So, when I was in middle school,
I need the cranium. I'm just saying.
This is gonna go weird.
There's definitely some excess weight in the cranium. There's some marbled goodness up there.
Darren, what would you put in your pipe and smoke?
Darren's like, chilled Justin brains. Like,
sweet fielders.
Oh my goodness! Like
it took him a second. Every time a bell rings,
what was that question, anyways?
What do you mean?
It was, would you dare taste human flesh?
Oh, would you dare? Oh yeah, okay. We went pretty far past
If it was a judgmental free zone, I would do
it. just saying. Every time a bell rings, an angel gets its wings. What happens when a foghorn blows?
An angel shits himself.
Because you go like, well, hold on. Why is this about putting an angel together? Like angel parts, like sounds make angel parts happen. like is there a part, like do they start with a leg? And then different tones get...
There's a celestial connection between the resonance and the formation of the creature itself.
Yeah, well, there you go then. Every time a bell rings, an angel gets an assoll.
And so like
no, foghorn.
An entire
foghorn. Yeah, every time a foghorn blows, an angel gets an asshole.
What about a leghorn?
Now, see here.
Playing the thigh flute.
But I think so. Whenever someone plays a tin whistle, an angel gets those silly eyebrows. You know what I mean? Sort of like the eyeball would be whenever someone plays a C major on a harp.
There's going to be a lot of unformed or overformed angels, or
just so many wings just pouring off of an angel. Just infinite wings.
I'm going to play one instrument. Oh, you're fucking things up.
Oh, the piccolo? God damn it.
Every time an orchestra plays, an angel gets 18 limbs.
Okay, so what's the dongle? And then this angel is getting dongles. Well, I guess I don't know. They have no gender, right? So
I'm thinking like the uvula. Would that be like accordions?
Would be what?
Accordions? Like, you know what I mean?
Oh my god!
Do you think
fucking choked to death over a performance?
A foghorn is probably the closest earthly sound that could get to God's voice, is what I think.
God's foghorn.
So God's voice is the brown note.
God's voice is hee haw.
Oh, someone's playing the piccolo. My hairs are tickling.
And I've got new ones.
Right.
The angels have to be. I guess they would start out as bald, so something would like start, giving them the hairs. So,
toothpick noises.
Chimes.
Ooh, a plucked violin.
A fiddle.
So whatever, you
every time a banjo strums,
an angel loses a tooth.
No wonder they hate Mumford and Sons so much.
Some music gives and some takes away.
Bunch of gummy angels walking around. Why did folk music have to catch back on?
Oh, Shay, that was brilliant. Some music giveth and some taketh away.
What if they relied on these sounds because the angels they're constantly at war, so they're constantly slicing each other's bits off,
making music.
So we are actually keeping them whole in order to wage this heavenly war.
Well, that's interesting. So, perhaps within the sort of celestial combat realm, as weapons evolve, right? That's going to create different sorts of damage for different sorts of casualties. Is that an impact on the genres of choice in pop music, right? So the rise of hip hop in the 90s, that big drum, that repetitive nature, is that when the demons invented machine guns?
Dude,
and so they're just mowing through people, limbs were dropping, and we needed that big 808 bass?
Dude, this is fucking brilliant. I love, okay, look, you get pictures of angels. Now, granted, you do get them with occasional swords and shields and whatever, but you get a whole fucking ton of, was it lyres? What the hell's
the
lute?
The U-shaped harp or whatever,
A lute.
Lute, thank you. And you got a bunch of those. I love and going into different tones of different genres of music and what kind of angels were formed and shit like that. And I'm just thinking oh man, what happened to the steel drums? What kind of regional angels are you fucking making? And I've just imagined
Look,
just
the fairy's got to fight too, you know.
Dude, I want to see like the fucking Rasta angel being all about the Lord. Like, no, listen to me.
Ja.
We've strayed somewhere real weird.
No, I mean,
Shane's doing a Rasta voice.
Yeah, I know.
What if all these sounds are essentially in some alternate reality controlling some massive battle of angels and beings?
That's kind of what we're saying. Is like,
our
sounds are rebuilding the angels as they war with the demons.
Good. I like this.
No wonder black metal is so evil.
That's actually what I was going to say. Every time a double bass blast, an angel gets some guns.
Yeah, little did we know, like the interpretation of some of the Disney and Looney Tunes, like let's have music equate to animation. That was legit.
That was legit.
The music of the spheres.
Well, energy cannot be created nor destroyed, right? You just
gotta
go somewhere.
I'm just imagining specific songs making specific angels like Oompa Loompas, you know, or just like what the fuck, this Vanilla Ice angel, fuck that, you know.
So does the needs of the host dictate what life on Earth is doing? So we need more infantry, make alternative rock more popular because we need some more grunge guitar.
Brian's gaming with music right now.
I'm going to say that with the classic quote to St. Peter, right? Whatever you loose on earth shall be loosed in heaven. I feel like that officially gave Earth the initiative, right? So what we're doing is actually affecting their realm more than the reversed.
But it's as above, so below.
You just validified this entire conversation, Justin.
But I differ because as above, so below.
Well, see,
wouldn't that be as the angels, so us?
That's a pagan concept, not a celestial concept. So I wonder how the demons operate.
All we're getting is a bunch of fucking loot crap, and we're giving them like a smorgasbord of variety.
It's just loot crates of weapons.
Well, so I feel like the celestial generals would like quickly adapt to changing genres, right? Like, so you get the rise of indie rock in the 2000s. They're like, "Fuck, what are we do with all these stupid minor guitar riffs?" Like, you know what I mean? I feel like they have to adapt. That'd be like, so the great generals would be the really creative guys that can work with whatever they got on hand.
The White Stripes only have 2 instruments. What the fuck?
The Archangel Michael's like, I can work with this.
They're God of War.
Listen to the sounds coming out of that guitar.
Yeah, really. Ball and a biscuit, I'm on board.
7 Nation Army, you got that right.
Hiroshima killed 70,000 people instantly, and an estimated 140,000 by 1945. What is the biggest bomb that you have dropped?
I feel like that's a bathroom joke.
I feel like it's really hard to get away from the bathroom joke.
Like the defining moment of the 20th century just got turned into like a just casual like. So when did you drop the mic the hardest, bro?
I ate 3 tapioca puddings one day, and oh man.
So you saw Dumb and Dumber, right?
I mean, I set off a bug bomb and probably killed millions of termites and ants.
Oh.
Well, if you had millions of termites, they deserved it.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Oh, you have no idea the termites. Oh, Jesus.
Biggest bomb I've dropped. Man.
Biggest bomb. I mean, okay, like ignoring the scale that you presented, which is maybe a little bit beyond my day.
That's not the point.
I tell a lot of bad jokes.
I eat a lot of taffy.
I like a lot of taffy. I knew it was good.
You got some Baileys?
You want another cup of Baileys?
I'm old Greg.
Yeah, he doesn't have the stories. You want to talk to the guy with the missing leg?
Greg has some stories.
He's got a few.
I will say the worst I've ever felt after making a joke. Brian and I were at the Spectrum many moons ago, and a gentleman walked kind of, past us. And walked is probably the closest verb I can come up with, because he had one of those some sort of medical issue where his legs did not function, so he was using his arms to propel himself along with not stilts. What do you call them? Crutches.
Sounded like coconuts.
And
a crippled man on stilts.
Well, dude, so this happened 20 years ago, right? So this is the story I'm telling you is 20 years ago. I'm curious if Brian remembers this.
Hold on. Because you were trying to be so PC when you said stilts, but Brian broke on stilts.
Well, I forgot the word for crutches. All right, so stilts is stilts for your arms.
All the crazy clowns walk on in circuses, but they do it on.
All these clowns were on crutches.
They were tall giraffe clowns. Wiggly wiggly.
Wiggly wiggly.
So this guy is stilt crutching his way down the path, and not unlike Shane is gesticulating at the moment.
Yeah, that's more spastic than.
To be honest, it was pretty spastic. So I turned to Brian and said, "Man, I'm feeling really disjointed."
Oof.
Oh.
I know, dude. It was 20 years ago, and I still feel bad about that.
You should. All puns should be shamed.
Well, it's not even the pun thing. It's the I mocked this person with this disability, who, by the way, was being rad and doing the things and participating in life. Yeah, doing his thing. By the way, if he punched me, I'd probably be dead, right? If he's using his arms to walk around all the time. It was a dick move.
Especially if he used one of his stilts.
Yeah, actually, I got one that is similar. But okay, when you said that, you weren't thinking that it was a mean thing, right?
No, I think it was I think it was a mean-spirited pun.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was, and which is why I felt bad immediately. It left my mouth. I gave an angel a new elbow joint, and I felt horrible about it right away.
If we're doing those, I've got two that come to mind.
Get a new elbow joint when you go, oh.
So I had in high school. I had they were plus-sized women. My history and English teacher, and the English teacher was saying that, and I didn't know that they knew each other, but they were talking about how she said, "Oh, and I had a fight with the history teacher." She said her by name, and I just said sumo wrestling for no fucking reason at all, and I said it loud enough that everybody heard, and I was just the most. Fucking why did I say that? It's not funny. It's not true. And why did I say it so loud? It was one of the most I want to die moments I've ever had until the last podcast where I made fun of Justin's speech pattern, and I still feel bad about it because I had to listen to it over again while editing the thing, and I cringed the entire effing time because I cannot believe what I said.
Oh, Brian, I felt it, man. I heard that tenfold over because you brought it back even 10 steps down the conversation. You're like, wait a minute.
I apologized to him the rest of the show. And then I felt bad about it exactly as much as bad as I felt about it the first time, all over again, listening to it again. I can't believe I said that.
In your defense, and let me just say this as an outside perspective, listening back to it again, Justin got gayer.
It started right as that story started, right?
He was like, "What do you mean my speech impediment?"
But Darren's joke about Father Peter's peanut butter made it all the better. I hated myself, and then I loved Darren, and it was a weird dichotomy of feelings.
You cut it all out.
No, it's in there, isn't it? No, it's in there.
No, you cut out the whole Father Peter's peanut butter.
No, it's in there. It's in there. Trust me.
It's
there. I'll listen again. If I cut that out, it was by accident. But
again, I've already forgiven you for that. It definitely wasn't a big deal. And I also have developed a lisp. Like these are all like fair thing. Like that's not a big deal.
You only started just now.
I'm sure it's psychological to some extent.
No, now it's you, Brian. Now it's you.
So you've been doing that?
The complex is real.
I just wish Justin was gay so I could live out my fantasy.
I have one more. Like, so occasionally this comes back to me too. Like when I was younger, I was in high school, and we were in PE. This girl, she was a little larger, and she was running around the bases or something like that. We were doing some sort of baseballist type of thing, and baseball-ish type of thing. I don't even, honestly, like I didn't even think at all for a second that this would be hurtful or anything like that, because I didn't know being hurtful. I didn't. Okay, yeah. I also came from a Montessori school right before then, type of thing. So whatever, like it's just different environment, right? So anyways, and I said, like, the way she was moving was funny to me, and it's just because she was moving that way because of her weight, and but I didn't like equate it to like something like that, and I said out loud, and I got immediately beaten down for it by my friends, stuff like that. I said something like waddle faster type of thing, and it was just. Yeah, it's like I get this echo in my head because I didn't know what it meant at the time. I learned very quickly and thereafter, and it just like, now dropping bombs. Okay, no, she didn't hear. You know, but I was just enjoying it. It was a funny movement.
You dropped a bomb on yourself, didn't you?
I did.
That's what affected me is the teacher heard, and she gave me this look, and like I liked that. I liked both teachers, and it just struck me to my core how evil that was, and it wasn't even intentional, or I don't know what it was. It's just something in me said, "Say this," and I said it out loud.
But you didn't. It's all about intention. It really is, and I'm totally absolving myself.
Yes.
So I'm not absolving myself. I hate myself for that still.
Well, first of all, there's a great.
Brian, you don't ever absolve yourself.
Like 2-page short story from Edgar Allan Poe called "The Imp of the Perverse," that kind of explains. Like it's a great story, and it's the idea that like the voice you hear in your head when you're looking over the ledge of a tall building that says "jump." That's the imp of the perverse, and I feel like there's definitely
that's just depression, man. What the fuck are you talking about?
No, it's the same thing. Like when you're driving and you're like, I could just swerve into the oncoming lane right now. Like just thinking about it, not actually wanting to do it, but just perversing yourself into the idealism of the possibility.
Well, I think the psychological term is like intrusive thought is like the sort of like modern psychological term, but like I love the imp of the perverse sort of. Again, dude, it's a great story. Just read it. But to Brian's point and Shane's point, and like, I feel like that's how you learn, though, right? This is how we realize, oh, this can hurt people. Like, this is like it's part of that socialization experiment or experience. And like, I feel like it's why kids can be mean, but also like why you have to teach them to not be mean. Darren, you should probably chime in on this. Actually, since you're raising a human, like you have to teach them.
Grade. Like, I should have learned that by then.
Well, I mean,
I think hold on. There's another aspect to this, and I want to bring this to light because I had an experience. This was not a preconceived notion on my question, but I had an experience. So Josh and I, Jeremy's brother Josh, used to play this game called the Animal Game, and it was because people in Orange County were so fucking stupid. We thought we started a game where we would try and slip in as many animal words as possible into a regular conversation without people noticing them because of the regular niceties that people are used to in regular conversation.
I'm following you.
Did you get it from Super Troopers or did you do it before Super Troopers?
It was basically the meow thing, but trying to be subtle about it, not let them know, and just trying to see, and it was just between us that it was funny, but the other person didn't know about it, right? So we try and slip in, giraffe. Stegosaurus, whatever, any animal name you could think of into a normal conversation without them knowing. Hey, how you doing, lion? Yeah, I'm great. Thanks for asking. Just slip it in there, kind of. And we were checking out at a grocery store, and it came about. Obviously, the look, the eyes locked. Everything happened, and I tried to slip in the word elephant into the conversation, and then I looked up, and the girl checking us out was very overweight, and she was looking at me like, "Did you just fucking call me an elephant?"
Oh no.
And I looked up at Josh, and I looked up at her, and then I like crushed inside, like, holy shit, that was not my intention. That had nothing, but I had nothing to say, because how do you explain that?
You can't explain. Excuse me, but we and him were doing a bunch of bullshit that doesn't really. I can't explain it, and you're not going to take it for an explanation. And oh god,
I had to hang my head low and just be an asshole and walk out of that place, and that was the end of it, kind of thing. And I was like, all right, that's the end of the game for me. I'm done. I'm good.
So I feel like
that's not the right lesson to learn.
Well, I feel like we need to introduce some sort of like universal mea culpa into our culture.
It's a good game. You ran into a challenge.
Don't you dare try and justify me fucking making somebody feel the way they did because of what I said.
That was not the intent. And you don't need to continue calling her elephant while you explain it to her.
Look, the only reason I called you an elephant was
Listen, you elephant. Let me explain what was really happening.
No, see, you can't know. You dig the fucking hole deeper
Listen up, cow. This is why I called you an elephant.
No, look.
Sit your brontosaurus ass down while I explain this to you.
Look, I'm not trying to say you're fat. God damn it. It doesn't go anywhere good.
So I feel like how you're fat.
There needs to be some sort of cultural, like, just baseline of mea culpa, right? Where like you just like there needs to we all need to come together as a society and be like, so when someone f's up and doesn't have a way of explaining the level of the fuck up, there needs to be like a special word or gesture or something where you just recognize, that's
remotely on the same page first for that to happen.
Maybe this is the start. This is how we all get on the same page, right? We're like, have you ever been in that situation where you make a social error of such an absurd magnitude that there's no way of explaining it, but you still feel guilty, but you don't want that other person to then carry also that shame that you did not mean to give to them. So, like, you just say this special phrase like, I'm trying to think, what would it be? Like,
perfect opportunity.
Mea culpa is not bad because it's not really in the modern lingo.
True. I mea culpa in it. Sorry.
But I feel like it's still like law students would be annoyed by that. Like,
what percentage of the population do you think feels that shame about what they said?
It's 100%. That's a universally human fuck up, I think.
Really? You think everybody feels shame?
We're 4 for 4 here.
Fun of others?
I think more people try and justify
I've said it in previous.
Than they do feel bad.
I've said it in previous things. I think we're a little bit higher level.
My dolphin fear might, somewhat counter.
Do you think Trump feels bad about anything he said?
No.
That's what I'm saying. Like, and there are 74 million people just like that. As far as
I know people that voted for Trump that I've also known have felt shame. Like, so I mean, like it's not
the second time.
There's a lot of different dynamics there. Let's not just all lump them into one big old dolphin hating group. Okay,
I'm a lumper that way. I guess.
I feel like whenever someone says the word lump, an angel gets cancer.
Oh fuck, another one.
So when that song was popular, it's lump.
Yeah, in a buggy marsh.
Note to self: be a dermatologist in the afterlife.
Like, are you implying that you need to like earn a living in the afterlife? Jesus Christ!
No, I'm saying
there's no escape from capitalism.
No.
Like if you too much in the for life.
Yeah, in the for life. If you love the lumps, you get on that shit in the afterlife because they're there.
They're just digging out lymph nodes in the forever timeline.
Look, thyroids, you don't need them out here. Let's take them out.
What about so the Instead of mea culpa, you just go down on all fours and back out of the room. And that's how you show contrition.
Over and over again as you kneel and walk backwards?
No, all fours, head down, and then shuffle backwards. No matter how large the room. You could be in the middle of the Super Bowl, right on the 50-yard line. You say something wrong?
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
I like that, but
heads are Hitler. I don't know why I said that. You just hit all fours and you back
I like
out.
that, but I'm thinking of dogs and like showing their ass to each other. So you get out on all fours and turn around.
Just fucking smell all of it.
Yeah, smell my shame.
All the shame, everything.
It's the human expression of anal glands. Is that what it is?
That's dropping a bomb.
This,
or you could just do that. Turn around and bend over, and they get to kick you in the butt. And that's the retribution. Is I've said something horrible. You get to hurt me physically, and with no retribution.
Wow.
No jury would convict.
I think that sets a precedent for physical punishment of wrongdoing, and I just don't think that's escalating us. We're better than
that. Are we?
If we want to be, yes. If we let ourselves be, yes, Brian. Come into the fold. Just come all over the fold.
Like I just still disagree. I think too many people have no shame.
Do you know whales come about 5 gallons when they come?
No shame.
Yeah.
How could you be shameful?
There's
all whales?
Oh, no, I'm sorry, blue whales. Yes. Let me specify.
Source, please.
Source.
You could park 52 VW Beetles on a blue whale's tongue.
Sources, look it up your damn self. But whales can never get fully erect. They have giant flaccid penises, and they come about 5 gallons at a time. More interestingly, is that elephants can control their penises like they do their trunks. So milking
Darren, your sex life has nothing to do with this podcast.
Milking elephants only involves anal fisting and hitting the Justin. What's it called? The prostate. Thank you. I was gonna have Justin answer.
Tell me the words.
You know,
Justin knows all about prostate sex.
So the only way to milk an elephant is to fist its prostate. Literally fist its prostate. If you're gonna man milk an elephant, because they can control their penises like their trunks, and they could just fuck you up and knock you over.
Darren.
All right. So Mae West once said, "You only live once, but if you do it right, once is enough." Is once enough?
Oh, definitely not.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
If you do it long enough. I'm all about longevity. Living forever. So I'm gonna go ahead and insert myself into that one. Ugh.
Once is too much.
She said if you do it right, once is enough. Not long enough. She just said if you do it right.
If you do it wrong, is once too many times?
Yes. I think so.
Yeah.
I think there's some examples of that.
I know.
Well, so, man, like, see, I feel like I'm on Team Shane here, right? Where like all of those like stories of like vampires hating their return to life. Fuck those vampires. Like I am so intrigued by watching the way humans evolve in the next 10 years, 50 years, 1,000 years, 1,000,000 years. Like
it sounds exhausting. It does sound exhausting.
No.
What if they evolved you into Neanderthalhood?
Backwards evolution.
What was the I don't remember the book, but it explored this and like, hey, you could live forever, but hey, if you're fucking done with it, you can just check out for a few millennia, come back, see if anything's interesting.
Nope,
yeah, fuck that guy. I guess we lost Darren.
Good. The moderator is gone. Fuck him.
Oh Jesus, he's still there, but there's no video. He's fucking lurking. God damn it.
I'm lurking.
But yeah, so there's a book. You can kind of like pick and choose when you drop in and out of consciousness.
Stranger in a Strange Land?
Oh.
It's like an Encyclopedia Brown book.
I think I read that, actually. I don't think I ever read that one. Which is weird. I read a bunch of his books.
Yeah. Oh, actually, you know what? No. Hold on. The one I was thinking of was Down and Out in the Magic Kingdom.
Oh, Dr. Ro. I haven't read that. Is that good?
it is interesting, because there's books that are good that you go like, I feel good for having read that. I feel enriched for it. And then there's others that you go like, well, I'm going to go ahead and not be impacted by the emotions it's trying to mess with, and trying to learn what I can from it and try to enrich myself. Like, it makes you do fucking work.
Recently, actually, I read Kim Stanley Robinson. I think one of his newer books, if not his newest, is called the Ministry of the Future, or Ministry for the Future. Shoot,
is that the one where the family crashes on an island? They build like a tree house and there's a tiger and shit.
No, that's the Swiss Family Robinson.
That's what he said, isn't it?
Ministry of the Future, or Ministry for the Future.
No, who was the author?
Kim Stanley Robinson.
Yeah, that's what I said. Swiss Family Robinson.
It was my name too.
That's my name too. Whenever
I used to love that one.
so, out, there's no Swiss Family Robinson. La 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 la.
I love you guys, but fuck you too.
Was that a Borat? But fuck you.
Fuck you.
Oh, so I just watched that last night.
The newest one? I never saw the first one.
The
So no spoilers.
It's amazing. It's
he won a bunch of Golden Globes.
Brian,
right?
it's like watching Gumbo.
No, no, it's not, because I can't watch real life cringe shit.
Oh no,
like,
I mean
it bothers me. It bothers me to the core.
That is okay. If you sat through Gumbo, this is
Gumbo.
not as bad.
But
it's
that's not real life. That's not real life.
It's not as bad, but it's bad. It's still cringe.
I can't watch real life.
Still cringe.
Like, I can't watch real life cringe shit. Like,
see, that's the whole thing. Is Sacha Baron Cohen is like a comedian, so
no, I know who he is.
It's not overly serious to the point of like, fuck. It's still funny.
No, but I can't like the people that, like, the real people that he makes say horrible shit.
He doesn't make them say anything. They're horrible people. That's the whole thing.
That's another problem. I hate that the horrible people exist.
Yeah,
like, I hate that Lindsey Graham exists. I hate that Mitch McConnell
exists. That is the cringiest
exists.
part of it. Is like, oh my god, these people are serious.
Yeah. Like when he did the thing where he convinced a whole small town that a mosque was gonna open in their small town. Jesus, I can't watch that stuff.
It hurts.
It's horrible.
It's really
those kind of
bad,
people
yeah.
exist.
It does hurt.
Like, the worst of humanity bothers me to my
America.
core.
Oh, I think that brings me to the next question. Project MK Ultra, aka CAII mind control experiments involving many illegal and immoral acts against U.S. citizens, cost us an estimated $10 million. What do you think is a huge waste of money?
Man.
An ineffective wall?
Yeah, a 12-mile wall.
Wait, a wall with gaps in it? A wall that can be circumvented easily? And as far as like money's concerned, actually, you said $10 million. I think that wall dwarfs it like significantly.
Yeah, it was like 20 or something billion for a couple miles of wall.
Yeah, I mean maybe 3 miles, but whatever. But that's...
I mean, honestly, anything to do with supporters of that man and them giving money, the fight the steal.
Yeah,
I did.
That's a good one too. What's the worst one though? Like, cause like I feel like that's bad, but things that we've done.
Well, so economists have done this like calculation, or not, I should say like the entire like profession, but some economists have done this like calculation where we'd actually be better off just having a 9/11 a year than funding the absurdity of like the entire Homeland Security apparatus.
Oh my god!
Like, and you could argue like the war on, the forever war on terror.
Wars
as part of that.
I wonder, Justin, like, okay, so how we have our coups of different different governments in order to install our puppet democracies, right?
But, yeah, all right, continue.
Okay.
Yeah.
Those aren't cheap. Those aren't cheap.
Yeah. We pay for it.
Right. And I don't like to talk about like who gets, it's like far as waste of money.
Well, so there is a theory, and this is I'm not.
Well, that's the question. Yeah, that's the base question.
Well, I'm not a proponent of this. I'm just explaining this sort of like worldview, right? Which is like the modern like sort of Pax Americana, right? Where for the most part, first world countries do not go to war with each other. We are in this sort of unique era of peace and prosperity and world trade. All of that is secure.
I missed that.
Well, I mean, like, it's sort of like
provable. Thinking we are, yeah.
Well, it's provable that we are like in a more peaceful, less violent era now than like ever before. I mean, you look at like
oh my god
statistics.
That comparison itself is such a shit comparison.
Well,
is that what we're basing our shit off of?
It's his premise.
That is not a fair standpoint.
He's not done.
No, look, just because stuff was fucking fucked up, crazy bad, now is just a little bit less bad.
He gets to make his statement, and he has a valid preface.
I digress.
The worldview is that this Pax Americana is sort of founded on American air power and the American Navy sort of creating this
in the Navy
sort of safe zone for trade and for existence and for the rest of the world really to kind of take advantage of this sort of like, American empire and all the trading associated with it. So I think there is a sort of like Kissinger-esque like pro-American view that those, sort of Cold War containment policy type actions, all those things were part of creating this world where like, for example, like I think in just the country of China alone, there's something like 300 million people in the last 20 years are now no longer living in poverty, right? Like that is a new thing. That's a freaking amazing thing. And so it's not like this, I'm not making like this sort of like centrist utilitarian, like everything else is worth it because these 200 million people are no longer starving. But it's also at the same time, like, let's not just dismiss that as nothing. Like that's a huge accomplishment.
I'm gonna ask for a pause because I'm trying to follow waste of money as the question.
Oh, yeah.
So, well, like your assertion that these sort of like American CIA-sponsored coups, which, like Chile, for example, was probably not cheap, right? But like, if you look at that as part of the sort of like, Pax Americana,
So, Justin, you're excuse the term, but you're justifying this. But what I'm saying is like billions of dollars on failed idealisms of nonsense, complete, utter nonsense.
That's pretty broad, Dan.
So,
that's a good one.
Thank you.
There
you go.
War on drugs. War on drugs.
Well, so like, there's this emerging.
The question is, what do you think is a huge waste of money? That's it. Simple question.
War on drugs. I mean, I feel that the legalization of marijuana and how
I didn't think about
tax dollars and how little effect it's had.
That is the obvious.
Yeah, I mean it's.
Well, so again, like this is
it's got to be that
advocate thing, which that's maybe arguably gross anyway. But there's this emerging economic concept. It's not even emerging. It's relatively established. It's modern monetary theory, MMT. I'm going to butcher the explanation here, but basically the government can't waste money. Inflation doesn't work that way. What we can do is just kind of unleash the way that fiat currency works and fund a bunch of cool shit that we want to do. That's the baseline, or that's the sort of like, justification for certain types of government action. I think it's why we're seeing more recently the kind of unleashing of government action in response to the pandemic in a way that we didn't even with Obama and the Great Recession, or whatever the heck they called that financial meltdown. We're kind of unspooling ourselves from the concept of government debt as a negative, and like there's interesting sort of things going on in economics right now, especially when it comes to government spending. So, like, with that in mind, like, is this stuff a waste? Like, you could argue it is an injustice. It's injustice, right? Like, we have jailed a bunch of black and brown people for marijuana, which is stupid. That's an injustice. But is it, the sort of like money we invested in the military and police training to deal with this stuff, is that a waste? I don't know. Like, because we're still funding the economy in these different ways.
You don't know. We wasted years on an old idealism of this is going to make this better, even though we completely failed to adapt to a changing environment, and that's the problem.
Right? You're saying spending money, but spending money, all of that money could have gone into education, into the homeless issue, into rehabilitation of drug offenders, as opposed to just prosecuting drug offenders. Like, spending money isn't just spending money. I mean, yeah, the money is not going nowhere; it's going into the enemy. But it might be going in the wrong place.
Like, even if you're talking about funny money, because I think that's essentially what Justin's saying is, like, we're fucking pulling money out of thin air. And so what is it really costing us?
That's true.
And if you go ahead and say, well, let's just pretend that it's real and you could have spent it in a better spot, I think that's valid. But I also think that it's like, well, is that the nature of the question, or is it just like, where do we have the most waste? And is the waste calculated in money versus effort?
Can somebody shed some light on where the
people not to grow corn
current money that's going for relief, coronavirus relief, the 19 billion? I mean, I get it. I read the headlines. I know, but where is it like really coming from? Is this going to be?
We make it up.
Well, so that's the function of
a long term. It's going to screw people.
So, the prevailing theory,
right? Good question.
Even 20 years ago, 10 years ago. Yeah, no, good question.
I don't know.
So, the prevailing theory, like 10 or 20 years ago, like the Greenspan era of the Federal Reserve, was concerned about inflation. And then you go back even further, that was definitely like the primary concern, like interest rates issues under, the dude in the late 70s. Anyway, Volcker, maybe? I can't remember. But anyway.
Vulcan? No,
Vulcan.
It's not Vulcan. That was like not. Orange County, bro.
No.
Vulcan? I've been watching Star Trek.
So
sorry,
but anyway, sorry, I shouldn't have gotten distracted by that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Paul Volcker. But anyway, like
they made a lot of money off those stickers. They did. But it's like a Calvin and Hobbes pissing on a big V.
Jesus.
I don't know.
Okay, get your momentum back. Where are you going?
No, what's up? Well, I can't explain this. I think it might be boring. I don't know. Darren, if you're really interested, I can send you a couple of links.
The evolution of like financial theory in the last 20 years especially has been super fascinating, because like we've gone from like the sort of consensus on global trade and the I forget there's a specific economic term for like gains from trade and all that stuff. Like we've gone from like a consensus on that to now we are considering a totally different worldview where like, hey, maybe there are super downsides to globalization and maybe that's affecting the working class in a fundamentally different way than we suspected. The old theory was that this was going to ultimately be good for everybody because we were going to be able to retrain our citizens and our workforce to do higher value gigs, and the gains from trade were going to trickle down. But it's like we've proven that's not the case, right? The gains from globalization have like accreted to the top in a way that is like negatively affecting even our politics now. So it's been interesting to see how people are coming up with different theories on why that is and what to do about it. And like again, the MMT is like a sort of emerging theory, but it's gaining a lot of traction and it's real big.
What's MMT stand for?
Modern monetary theory, and it basically says like the old concerns about inflation are fucking garbage. I'm thinking that is unique to America because of the way that the dollar is the world's reserve currency and how that affects like everything else. which then goes back to like, even the military use, right? Like the reason the dollar is the world's reserve currency is back to the American Navy, the American Air Force. And so are investments in that actually worth that?
Do you think there's a world currency in the works?
It is functional.
Or do you think it'll be the American dollar?
Yes. In the works, that takes so much unpiping.
So actually, that Kim Stanley Robinson book, The Ministry for the Future, has Kim Stanley.
I only heard
Robinson.
Swiss Family Robinson.
That's my name too.
So the Years of Rice and Salt.
Are we right back on Swiss Family Robinson?
The Years of Rice and Salt is so good. I'm so mad.
Look,
and also Red Mars.
He's back on the tiger
trap. Only so big. How many generations can live in that goddamn thing?
Why does it keep on naming them the same?
They can keep grafting branches.
Yes, they're all Robinsons. Like fuck.
Last question.
All Robinsons who fuck. That's how you make generations, Darren.
All right, we do have a last question. We do have one last.
No, it was a
question.
Disney show. They don't say fuck.
When is a duck not a duck? That's it.
What is
when a bullet's coming?
That's a really good answer, Brian. Technical, good answer.
And
God, you're such a particularist.
When is a duck not a duck?
A question.
When is anything not itself?
There it is.
When it's a goose.
Brian's kind of killing this one.
I think Brian answered the question. It's when it's a goose. I think. I didn't realize I had an answer to that question until Brian just said the answer.